Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first Devvit live stream. This is a new format that we're trying out. We're trying out this webinar style structure. So we're going to try and do this once a month, go live, talk about what's new with Devvit, and also maybe we'll do some deeper dives on specific features of Devvit moving forward. But excited that you all joined this first one. It's going to be great. And we are really excited to have Kiro here alongside us. If you have already seen in the YouTube description. But yeah, so Kiro is going to be speaking today as well alongside us. And the reason why Kiro is here is because we are announcing today a brand new hackathon. So if you participated in our last hackathons, this one's going to be structured very similarly. It goes from today until October 29th. So you have a couple of weeks to get started. You can join the dev post right there at the bottom, scan the QR code. It will take you there as well. The theme for this hackathon and why Kiro is here is there's a Kiro piece and there is the Devvit piece. And so for Devvit, really what we are looking for in this one is community play. So games that bring the community together, either that's through synchronous real-time interactions or asynchronous interactions, or kind of really all the different ways that you can interact together on Reddit. I will have some examples of some great community play games that we have today to give you kind of a path forward as you're trying to think about what you want to create. But again, October 13th to 29th, you got a couple weeks to build this out. So community play, that's one half of it. And then the other half is the Kiro developer experience. So this is all about how you integrate Kiro, their AI IDE, into your workflow to make your life easier. We'll go a little more in detail about like how you can do that and give you some ideas there as well. The Kiro team will talk to that a little bit more a little bit later too. But with that said, we have $45,000 in prizes, so a lot of money up for grabs. 15,000 of that is going to go towards the best game in that community play category, and $10,000 for the best Kiro developer experience. We also have a bunch of money available for honorable mentions, and also money available for a helper award. If you're just helpful to other devs during the hackathon, you can be a participant for that award as well, and then giving us feedback on the full developer experience as you're building out your projects. So really excited to be announcing this. The judging criteria, this is all again on the dev post, but I'm just kind of covering it really, really quickly. Really, there's a couple different categories that you want to think about when you're building your game for this hackathon. We have delightful UX. So really, is this an enjoyable experience? Obviously, it doesn't need to be perfect. This is a hackathon. You have 2 weeks to build it, but we want to be able to really see like what is engaging about this app, what is fun about this app, did I enjoy using this app? Polish, that's another big piece of it. This one's really about the project that you submit. How far is that project from actually launching? So if you submit a project and you only need another week of work and we can put this in front of everyone on Reddit, that's great polish. Part of that also comes down to that first screen experience. If you've seen games on Reddit already, you know that there is a launcher that launches you into the game. That is called a splash screen. So a really good first screen is a big part of that polish too. Another component is Reddity. We are building games for Reddit because we want games that make sense on Reddit and to really enable users of Reddit to have a new experience within our platform. So you want to, when you're thinking about this, how does your game actually make sense on Reddit versus other platforms that you could be building for? Reddit is full of communities that interact together and communities that really want to share and work together and do all of these different things centralized around a specific interest. So this is, how does your app kind of fit into that mold? And then the last two categories, this is really depending on what you are participating in for the prize. So for the community play prize, I mentioned it already, but it's really about could a community build around this game in an exciting way? So thinking about like, are users competing against each other? Are users working together? Is there something else where I have a reason to do a certain action in your game and then someone else will be able to experience that in a different way? And again, I'll cover some of these examples of what we've seen in the past to give you some tips there, but that's really the core of it. So community play. And then the other piece is the Kiro developer experience piece. And so really this is to make the Kiro team just wonder, whoa, why did I think I could use it that way? So really however you can think about doing like automations or anything to improve your workflow. As you're building out your game, you can build the entire thing in Kiro. And as you're doing that, maybe there's a specific piece of it that you're like, wow, I saved so much time because I use Kiro in this way. And so that's what the Kiro Developer Experience is prize is for. And you can submit to both the Kiro Developer Experience Prize and the Community Play Prize. So if you are working on a project that fits both, even better, and you can participate there. So with that said, that is the hackathon. For those of you that are joining that don't know what Devvit is, I want to cover that really quickly because that's a big part of the Devvit hackathon. And so Devvit is Reddit's developer platform. And really, this allows you to build custom posts, apps, mod tools, games, whatever you want that live directly within Reddit. We have a bunch of great examples of this. But really, what you get by building on Devvit is you get compute. We gave you APIs. We can let you schedule jobs. You can build directly within the Reddit ecosystem and kind of all of our frameworks. We host your game for you. So you launch your game. It is hosted by Reddit. You don't have to pay for another hosting service. Reddit has you covered there. Also, one of the really exciting pieces is that it's cross-platform. When you build a game for Reddit through Devvit, you get cross-platform support for free. You are going to be on reddit.com. Your app is also going to be on the Reddit mobile app, so iOS and Android. All of that comes for free by building your app with Devvit. You also get the power of Reddit's distribution, which I think is one of the most exciting pieces. Reddit is full of users who are highly engaged on specific topics, really want to contribute to the community. Reddit is a bunch of communities, so it is people ready to engage with each other. And I think that is something where you can really see someone coming in and wanting to engage with your content. You get access to our distribution as well. I'll talk more about what that means in just a second. And so for distribution, basically when you build a game on Devvit, you upload it to a specific subreddit. You can also upload it to multiple subreddits, but you start to build your community right around your game in that subreddit. And then also, as your game starts to grow, there are 3 distinct ways that you can start to reach more and more players. So there's the home feed. So if you think about the traditional Reddit experience, that's really I'm scrolling through my home feed, games pop up. I can start to play my game right there. You can easily suck in new users, as well as I play your game, then I will see more and more content of your game. I'll be more likely to come back. So it's a really good flywheel of keeping players engaged with your game, making sure that they can discover it as well. We also have a games feed, which is basically just the same as the home feed, but specifically for games. So this is really where you're going to find your high intent users, like users that come to Reddit. I just want to play games. I don't want to look at any other content. They go to the games feed, they can scroll through, and you can find those players that are really looking to find a new experience within Reddit. And then the community game drawer, which I think is one of the most exciting pieces. This is on the left side of Reddit, if you haven't seen it yet. This is rolling out to almost everyone right now, but should be rolled out completely pretty soon. But basically, there is a community drawer on the left, which has a featured game and a couple of other featured games as well. So as your game starts to grow, it gets featured on the left. And then you are now on the homepage of Reddit, where anyone who lands on Reddit will see your game right there, be able to click on it, and be able to start the game very easily. So tons and tons of distribution options. And this is all helping to grow that community within your game. So that's really what you get by building for Devvit and for Reddit. But what can you build with? Devvit uses a traditional web framework. So anything that you can export for web with, you can build Devvit apps with. So if you want to use a traditional game engine, export for web, that can work as well. If you want to do everything in Kiro, please do. That's what this hackathon is kind of all about. So you can find both lanes. You can test that out. But really, there should be no additional work to learn new APIs. Whatever you're familiar with should be able to work really, really easily on Devvit. So that's pretty much all you need to know about building. It's what you're already doing to build, but now you just distribute for a new platform. Money. This is another big question we get, is how can I make money? Everyone wants to know when they're building their games, how they can increase player engagement and obviously continue to fund their game projects. So Reddit has, on top of this hackathon, which obviously has a lot of prizes up for the taking right now, there's also the Reddit developer funds, which basically we pay you based on engagement. So as more players start to play your game, then the more money you make. And you can find more information about it on the Reddit Developer Funds page. But we want to encourage, again, through that distribution model, we're trying to get you as much distribution as possible. And through that, then you get paid more. We also have in-app purchases. So for example, if you were going to be submitting for this hackathon, you can try and win money through the hackathon prize. You can earn money through the Reddit developer funds, and you can earn money through in-game purchasing. So you can continue to grow that as we grow your audience. And a big question that we get often, because we're offering to pay money for games. They're like, why are you even doing this? Like, why do you want to pay me for why are you going to host my game? You're going to pay me for my game. Why are you going to do any of this? And really, like, where we see Reddit, I've been saying this, but like, it's a lot of communities coming together to play in highly engaged ways. So we really want to bring the best content to Reddit. We're really excited to get great content in front of our users, and we want to make sure that that is possible. So we are willing to pay you to make sure that will happen. And so Reddit, to highlight this, Reddit will host and we will distribute your game, and we'll pay you based on engagement for it as well. So we think it's a good deal. So hopefully you do as well. So with that, I want to talk a little bit more about kind of some of the games that we've seen built so far. And so really what we've seen a lot of success with on Reddit is with daily games. So something that encourages users to continue to come back, day after day, word challenge games, that sort of thing. We've seen a lot of success there. Again, thinking about that home feed, like if a new post pops up every day, I can see it every day. I can do it really quickly, and then I can go on scrolling through the rest of my home feed. So you can find more of an audience with the home feed for daily games. Also with bite-sized arcade games, these are like really quick game loops. We've seen both success with like high intent, longer game loops, and also really short game loops. So if you think about how you use Reddit, there's times where you're sitting at home and you're like, I just got an hour to kill. I'm gonna be on Reddit for the next hour, and that it makes sense for like a high intent game, something that's going to take a long time to get through a game loop. But there's also a lot of times where you're sitting there and you're just in an awkward elevator, and you need to pull out your phone and do something for 20 seconds as you kill time. And so those finding experiences that fit both of those is a great way to think about building your game to make sure that you can reach the audience where the audience is. And then for this hackathon specifically, we're really focused on community-driven games. So this is really games that allow the community to collaborate and really show the creativity of the Reddit users. So I'll dive more into those examples specifically, since that's what this hackathon is all about. But we've seen a lot of success with a lot of different types of games. So yeah, just want to highlight some community ones specifically. So for community games, the first kind of theme I wanted to mention is we've seen a lot of success with community voting games. So we have two games here I'm showing, but the first one is Daily DM, and that is basically a D&D style campaign where users can draw their character, and then certain characters will get selected to go on a campaign. And there's an AI backend that basically has decision trees that allow it to make a decision, or decision branching, which allows it to make a decision at specific points. So the AI backend will prompt it to, or prompt the story along, and then users can come in and comment completely free form what they think should happen next and what decision that character should make. And so this has been really exciting. It leans into the upvoting, downvoting mechanics of Reddit, and it allows users to be completely creative as they continue to work together to find a narrative for these different characters. And a similar story for Our Town. That is a game where you join a specific community. There's like 3 different cities that you can join, and then once you're in that city, you can freely propose different amendments to the rules of that town. And so you can decide to build a library, or you can decide to tear down all the buildings, and whatever gets upvoted in that then plays out in the next iteration of the AI backend. So both of these games really use AI in a really interesting way to allow complete creativity of the users and really make it so the community vote, and community members are encouraged to contribute to the game, which I think is a really, really cool thing. So that's one element that we've seen a lot of success with, and that's community voting. Another piece is with user level creation. So this one is like basically level builders, custom level builders. We see this in a lot of games all over the place, but really where we see this on Reddit is, so we have two games, Honk and Leapcraft, that have both really leaned in on level creation. So for Honk, it's a familiar concept, and it was finding some success on Reddit, but really once they added a level builder to it, that's when the game took off in popularity. And you can see on the left there is a post. This is what gets created when a user creates a level. So they get their Snoovatar front and center, they get their username front and center. And all of this is there's more encouragement from the users for the users to build new levels and new content. And it's really fun. You can make crazy, crazy things, which I'll show in a second. And Leapcraft, similarly, that is a 2D platformer where you can customize levels and make crazy experiences as well. So both of these really, really encouraging the community to contribute to the game. Here's just some examples of some crazier Honk levels. The one on the left is a Friday the 13th one that just came out. So way beyond what the developer could have thought could be created with this concept, and the community is taking it to a whole new place. So this has really allowed the community to build lore around the game, completely define a whole new experience for this game, rather than if the creator had to build each level, it wouldn't have been able to scale to this extent. One more category I wanted to talk about is drawing. Drawing, super visual, makes sense on Reddit. A lot of the content that we see on Reddit is images in general. So games that lean into drawing are also highly successful on Reddit. So we have Pixile, which is a pixel art community board. You can draw within reason whatever you want on there, and it builds out a full scale canvas of the whole community drawing together. And you can also take screenshots and post those as well, so you can share your creation. There was a really nice moment in there where there was someone asked for a purple sloth and someone drew it for them. So it's also encouraging the community to work together within the app itself, which is a really unique experience. And then One Line, this is a game that won our previous hackathon. This is, as it sounds, you have one line. You touch on the screen to start drawing, and then as soon as you touch, you can't let go, and that's the end of your drawing. And then you post that to the subreddit, and then there's a guessing experience as well. So based on someone's guess, this is my very poorly drawn rat, you can then make more guesses on other posts. And so I think what's really cool about both One Line and a Honk is that there are experiences within the game that are low intent. Like, I just want to quickly, I see this drawing, I'll do a quick guess. Or on Honk, like, I'll quickly just play a level. And there's a higher intent where I'm going to sit here, I'm going to draw something really carefully. I'm going to build a level. I'm going to spend the next hour of my time building a level. So there's something to kind of fit the audience that you want to reach. So you can really expand what is possible with those games. And so one more category I want to mention is with leaderboards. Obviously, leaderboards, they're in a bunch of games. We love them. They increase competition. They're really exciting. And I think some of the ways that you can think about building leaderboards that are more engaging for users can, and during the game, really keep the player locked into that content as well. So on the left, we have Hot and Cold. It's a guessing game. You try and guess the word of the day. The closer you are, the hotter your guess is, the further away, the lower down it is. But the cool thing about this one is there's a live leaderboard on the bottom. You can see the Snoovatars there. And so as you're guessing, someone may jump ahead of you, and because they got a closer guess. And now you're like, oh no, I have to pass them, or I'm falling behind. Or you can really easily visualize where you are in that day's puzzle. So that's a really unique way to encourage more guessing and more playing through seeing what the community is actually doing. And similarly, Mice Maze Race, this was a submission for our last hackathon. This one has like all the trails from it. I think it chooses like 10 trails from previous people who played the game, so you can see how your route stacks up. I know there was a couple levels on there where I was like, oh, I'm going to go this way. Then I see they went a completely different direction, and you can quickly realize, oh, I need to improve my time, or I need to draw around this different area. So both of these really leaning into the leaderboard as you play, which I think is another really interesting way to keep people engaged. So with that, I want to do one more plug for this hackathon. We have, again, 2 main categories: community play, examples like I just showed, really bringing people together in a unique way that is unique to Reddit. That can be both synchronous, we have our real-time functionality, or asynchronous, but really community play focused games. And you can join the dev post there as well. And then on the other side, you also have the Kiro Developer Experience Award, which is really built around how well and how uniquely you integrate Kiro into your developer flow. By signing up for this hackathon, you do get access to Kiro. So I think there's like a 10 to 12 hour lag time. So be sure to sign up as soon as possible so we get you those codes so that you are able to access it. Yeah, these are the 2 main categories. It goes from October 13th to October 29th. If you're really excited to get started, you can get started with a new project at developers.reddit.com/new. That will do the onboarding wizard for setting up a new project. But with that, I want to pass it over to the Kiro team, who's going to talk more about the Kiro Award and more about getting started with Kiro and building apps and games for Reddit with Kiro.